Hello, Hello everyone. My name is Clyde Timms, and my presentation is going to be about steampunk. The title of it is "Future Past and Coin Steampunk in the Markets." Before I start, I like to give a shout out to my audience. Just
Hi.
Jason, say hi.
Hi.
Trey.
Hi.
Trey right here will be the guy who handles the computer. Just don't blow it up, alright? This is one of these, just one of those, okay? Just got one of those. The person who's going to be handling the camera is my sister-in-law, Candy.
Hi.
Just wave your one limb. There's my mother and her lovable cat. She's not a cat lady. And
Hi, baby.
my nephew, Jason, who's just going to sit there and be happy. Okay, and now let's begin.
Yes.
An introduction to this is just a little bit of a background. I'm going to be showing you guys about what is retrofuturism going in steampunk, its effect on the media, and its relation to the markets. Alright, and that's about it. Next page. Starting off, we have what is retrofuturism. Retrofuturism itself is actually a term coined in the 1970s, when actually having a more formal idea of how to mix the past and the future together to form something a bit more of a hybrid. Steampunk came out of this as one of the brainchilds or the spear points for a certain movement. Others came after it, such as diesel punk, which is World War II, or takes afterwards. Rocket punk, which is more the Cold War. Atom punk, Tesla punk, which are more derogatives of it. Cattle punk, which is the Weird West, which is more of the Wild West sort of idea. And of course, cyberpunk, which is not retro-futuristic, but is still in the phrase of punk ideas of science fiction that came as a derogative counterculture in the scientific golden age. Within this, also came with more of an architectural 1960s move that came in within the 70s, when retrofuturism came in as a coined phrase called Ray Gun Gothic. Ray Gun Gothic itself is pretty much the world of tomorrow in pretty much a streamlined form. A lot of beatnik movement, a lot of diners and fast food chains and anything that had anything on the road, prefer more or less Sonic in this case, had these sort of angular motions that look like spaceships, or more like something that came out of the Jetsons. You know, spaceships and anything kind of more, pretty much bring out more pizzazz into things. Sonic still has this, as it's probably one of the only fast food chains in America that still has sort of the ray gun gothic theme. Only thing that's been phased out was the roller skating waitresses and the milkshakes, the good ones. All right, next one. Steampunk in the media. Steampunk like I said, is a science fiction genre that came from retrofuturism. So in entertainment industries, media has always had a little bit of steampunk, from books to movies to TV to games. Going to books, we have the most obvious ones: 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, with Captain Nemo. And how this is very steampunk is that his entire adventure. The submarine was kind of steampunkish, using steam and power and brass and colors, from the diving suits to anything. To be more specific, I think the show Once Upon a Time has Captain Nemo in it. Though whoever watched that show, I kind of stopped after a few seasons. One more specific, I like it. Another specific is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which had Captain Nemo in it, he was very steampunkish. Another one that came into this is Warlord of the Sky, which is more about the World War I aspect of steampunk, which involves biplanes. Well, not really biplanes, but the old-fashioned biplanes. Airships had armor, cannons, anything of that. It was very crazy. They can get more fantastical, like Immortal Machines or Moving Cities. For TV shows, we have things such as the Wild Wild West, which is the Weird West which started as counterpunk, which is steampunk in the Wild West America during the time after the Civil War. Wild Wild West is more a version of every single gadget of the week was a steampunk invention or a steampunk aesthetic. Even the movie with Dr. Lovelace, you see things such as Gatling guns that were more powered by steam than a hand crank motion. Dr. Lovelace in his walking chair. Will Smith and the giant tarantula that was moving around. For TV shows, you also saw more of the adventures of Calamity Jane, which was also that sort of Wild West idea. For games, a lot of them, steampunk with Dishonor, Bioshock Infinite. Bioshock Infinite had its own aesthetic for the Flying City of Columbia, which was steampunk like, though using ideas from more electric, more quantum physics than anything. Dishonor uses willpower that was able to charge up the entire empire. One game I liked in particular was Arcanium of Steamworks and Magical Obscura, which evolved fantasy races and magic, mixing with the Industrial Revolution and a good but long story in that. Just to let you know, it's an RPG, so it will have a long story. Alright, next one. Relevancy in the market outside of the entertainment industry is more of a niche than anything else. With costumes and many people are split between what is more of a hybrid steampunk, which is mixing in ideas and aesthetics for modern mainstream audiences, to something more pure and bringing more fantastical, which is more of a niche market. To tell you the truth, most of this revolves around the literature or costumes, music, anything that's neo-Victorian. I, for one, know that there's a play around called the Dolls of Albion, which I really want to see, which involves which was a play more neo-Victorian with magic in it. It is very profitable and very flexible. A lot of person can make a lot of capital out of that, but it's more quality than quantity, to tell you the truth. All right, last page. In conclusion, steampunk in the markets is very much of a flexible idea. It's more of a dance that one person is more flexible than the other person has more of a two left feet idea than anything else. It can be very much of entertainment and creative purposes. And going back to it, it always will revolve around, as long as it revolves around the idea of retrofuturism and more fantastical elements, then you pretty much have a good starting head of what it could come out of for the markets. Source reference. And what was my source references? Any questions as I close this off?
No.
No. Oh, okay, then I'm done.